Hello, guys. Welcome. We're at week 9 of the long video predictions, and as always, I have my trusty commentator next to me right here, Potter, talking about some football tonight.
Hola, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a crazy start to week 9 so far. The trade deadline is closed. And guess what? We're going to talk about each and every single trade as long as it affects a playing team this week.
Yeah, and like there's a lot to go through here. Like you got like small trades that people don't really know about. Like for example, just to use an example, I know we're gonna talk about this later, but like the Ravens giving AJ Klein to the Bears, not really getting too well known from actual players and stuff like that. Did you know about that actually, Potter?
They got Ro- they got Roquan Smith from the Bears in exchange for a second round, a fifth round, and AJ Klein, I believe.
I
I
believe that's the
believe that's
case.
I believe that's what the trade was. And honestly, I do know of Roquan Smith, and we will get into him a little bit. Um, and another, like, we're going to get into, guys, we're going to get into a lot of these trades because a lot of them made it happy. But there are a couple of them where players are confused and upset. Like, for example, the Chase Claypool situation where he claims he didn't feel like he got an absolute shot to show the Steelers what he was going to do before he got traded. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that is what we're going to talk about, a part of a side of football generality of games in situations.
All right, let's start off our first game here with some Thursday night football. Or Amazon giving us some great game here tonight as we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans. Um,
Jeffrey, Jeffrey Bezos, you got to give us some better games, brother.
what do you think of this game? What you have anything to say about this game right now?
Which game? The Thursday night football game, and it's the Texans against who?
Eagles.
I mean, I mean, I'm doing really well in fantasy because of AJ Brown. He has been crazy. This past week alone, he caught 3 touchdown passes. That's ridiculous. Like this man with Jalen Hurts is that offense, and that offense is steamrolling, looking like 9-0, looking like 9-0 to me as I take the Eagles. I have nothing good to say about the Texans. They are just a lump of shit. I'm pretty sure the Texans made a trade though. And Wolf, I know you got it on your board there. Let's talk about it.
I don't see anything from the Texans.
Neither one of these teams made a trade. Okay. For
Well,
some reason, I
Raekwon's
thought the Texans.
Robert Quinn went to the Eagles, but that was in October. That was 10/27 when Robert Quinn went to the Eagles. The Bears traded
That's
Robert
still
Quinn.
that's still relevant technically because Robert Quinn brings an extra relevance of pass rushing to that defense. That already awesome defense. That's 8-0. You know what I'm saying? Like
My only thing is that did we talk about this last week?
I think
uh
we talked about Quinn, but I'll elaborate. It's okay if we elaborate a little bit. I'm going to pick the Eagles. Fuck Thursday night football. Fuck Jeffrey Bezos. I mean, the Eagles are shooing for this win. And if anything, I'm going to say that this could be the trap game for them. Davis Mills could turn it on. And if for some reason he does and the Eagles start to slack because they're 8-0, then I will be wrong as a clam. But right now, I'm saying it's going to be the Eagles, very, very heavily favored right now.
yeah, they are actually Vegas odds. They're giving Houston 14 points.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I want to talk about this real quickly. Part of the Eagles schedule. The rest of the season, we know that they're already like what 7-0 this season. They take on the Houston Texans this week. Next week they take on the Commanders, then the Colts. I have their whole schedule up right now. There's a possibility this team can go actually 17-0 this season because of the teams they face. However, there is some teams that could actually surprise the Eagles, like the Giants. They still have to play the Giants twice, Cowboys again as well, I believe, in Dallas, and they also have the Packers. Who, if the Packers can figure out what they're doing wrong, they might be able to give a chance to the Eagles, but I highly doubt that. Um, what do you think about the schedule though for the Eagles? I haven't been like very impressed right now with who they're facing, man.
No, I mean, I feel like the Eagles got it easy, but at that point, when it comes to postseason, we'll really see how the Eagles are, won't we?
You're not wrong. So if you
Nah.
can't tell, I am taking the Eagles over Texans. Just nothing's there in Houston right now.
You got to. They're undefeated, and Houston's a pile of shit right now.
So let's go to our next game as we got the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the top team in the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons.
So I am going to say this for fantasy users. If you see the name allergy on like Tyler, like that running back that they have, pick him up in fantasy. I think he's going to do something this week. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say that the Falcons can't win this game, but if they can start working on all cylinders, then I firmly believe that they could win this game. It's not that the Chargers are a bad team. They haven't really gotten, I believe, the production that they've wanted this season. I feel like they're playing at a decent level, but they should have more wins than they do. Um, I know Khalil Mack. I don't know if Khalil Mack is injured or not. Herbert's playing.
Khalil Mack is not injured. The one that's injured for the Chargers is Joey Bosa. And I believe the J.C. Jackson for the Chargers is also injured, but I don't see him in the injury list.
So they could just be probable or whatever.
Oh no, he's not in the starting lineup though. He's not playing for the season then. He got put on IR probably then. Or he's out for the season probably. That's why he's probably not on this list. But yeah, I don't know. I looked on the depth chart. J.C. Jackson's nowhere to be found. I think he tore his ACL, so I think he's out for the season.
Did either one of these teams make a trade?
Yes, actually. We got to talk about the Falcons giving the Jaguars Calvin Ridley, which doesn't really matter that much this season, but it might matter next season. And we'll talk about that when we get to the Jaguars, because I think it's actually an interesting trade, really. And the Chiefs.
Draft picks, I know that.
And the Chiefs gave the Falcons Rashad Fenton, a defensive back, mostly known for corner, to Atlanta.
So there's some trades right there. How do you feel about those trades?
They're whatever to me. I mean, Fenton might be good for Atlanta, but at the same time, Atlanta's already in a bad spot as is. The whole NFC South is a whole mixed bag of question and thoughts to me, because there's no way in hell the Falcons should be first in that division with the team that they have out there this season. And they're not really going out there and winning games. Like, I mean, sure, they won against the Raiders, Texans, Browns, and Broncos. But I mean, I'm reading the Chargers wins. My bad. They beat the Seahawks, Browns, and Niners and Panthers. Besides that Niners game, which the Niners are a questionable team at best, too. They'll win some, they'll lose some. It depends on the week they play. Besides that, and so is the Seahawks as well. But in their win column... they're just like the Browns and Panthers are not impressive to me. Beating them is nothing to me.
Oh, court pressure.
And he should be happy. They won on Monday.
Yeah, I know. He went from Mega Depression Chan to Super Depression Chan. So that was nice to see.
Who are you taking? Chargers or Falcons?
I'm going to take the Chargers.
What's your reasoning behind it?
No reason. I just think that they're a better team. I just don't think, the Falcons can maybe, but I just don't think so. I mean, if Herbert and company can't beat this team, then what are they doing too? It would be more of a question, like you said. I just think the Chargers are in more of a position to win with better players.
So my whole thing right now with the Chargers is that they're injured to hell. We just talked about J.C. Jackson being out for the season. Joey Bosa is still on IR with a groin injury. And now it's coming out that Mike Williams is actually out for leg injury, as well as Keenan Allen might not actually play against the Falcons either with a leg injury. He's questionable to actually play in this game.
So they don't have any receivers.
They might not have any receivers for this game. Their best receiving core right now, if there's no Jackson, they're tied down Everett. But at receiving, they'll be having Brandy, Carter, and Palmer out there for receiving for Herbert this week if Keenan Allen can't play.
Jeez.
So Maybe
I'm
one of
still
these players will
taking-
come out. Pardon?
I'm still gonna take the Chargers because Justin Herbert's a special player. I don't think that Marcus Mariota is special. I think Justin Herbert will be able to make plays. Is Austin Eckler playing?
I do not see Eckler in the lineup. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Eckler's playing.
So we're good.
Yeah, just expect the Chargers to run the ball more than passing if they don't have Keenan Allen out there. And if you see
Right.
passes, you'll see Herbert doing short passes to Everett or short passes to Eckler to get open. They don't have the receiving core to really play against it, but the Falcons really don't have an actual defense to stop receivers. I mean, besides Darren Hall and newly acquired Fenton from the Chiefs, I mean, I'm kind of iffy on Fenton as is, but that's just me. I'm taking the Chargers. I don't think the Falcons will have a chance this game. I think the Chargers are a better team in general than the Falcons. But I've been wrong before, so yeah. All right, up next, we got to talk about a lot of trades here. We got the Dolphins at the Bears.
And this is this is tough. Okay? It's tough because I feel like the Dolphins have made some trades, haven't they?
They
And
went
they've
out and they
gotten-
got Bradley Chubb, first of all.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then they also got Jeff Wilson because they traded off their running back Chase Edmonds to Broncos to get Bradley Chubb. So they went out and got Jeff Wilson from the Niners, which is not a bad pickup at running back by any means.
No, not at all.
The Bears, however, made some trades as well. We talked about it earlier. The Bears did trade Roquan Smith to the Ravens, but in return they got AJ Klein. And they also got a new receiver for Justin Fields to throw to, which is Chase Claypool.
And that's okay. There's the story that I read, and I'm going to. Chase Claypool feels like he didn't get a chance to show the Steelers what he could do in one full season. I don't know if he's upset about the trade in general. I know he's upset with the Steelers for not giving him a chance. Is that going to affect the way that Claypool plays? I don't think so. I think Claypool is going to play even better to prove a point. And that gives nothing but an advantage, in my opinion, to the Bears, where, in my opinion, they were struggling to throw the ball to and find players to throw the ball to. And if this can only make Justin Fields better, in my opinion. And I know everyone out there, Justin Fields because you like Ohio State. No, I like Justin Fields because he has taken this Bears team and okay, so Wolf, the first thing you think of when you think about the Bears is what? Defense.
Yes.
Defense. Not a quarterback. When they went to the Super Bowl that year against the Colts, did they have a notable quarterback? No, they had fucking Rex Grossman. Okay? It doesn't, and of course, those times have changed where it's not a defense that's going to take you to the Super Bowl. I get it. It is an all-around game now. But Justin Fields is that guy. At the beginning he struggled like most rookies will and should. But I think he's really found his own.
Okay, I'm going to defend. Here's the thing about Justin Fields. We were talking about how bad Justin Fields is playing. Last week, he took on the Cowboys. He had a QBR, a quarterback rating of 120. He threw 2 touchdowns. He only threw for 151 yards, but he had a good completion percentage, too. You can't really hate the guy for what he did against the Cowboys.
Not at all. Not at all. And that's called production. Like, the yards might not be there, but the 2 touchdowns helped. And it's all about, at the end of the day, the score of the game. And if he's on the winning side of the ball, he's on the winning side of the ball. And it looks like, so far, Justin Fields from the beginning is now on the winning side of the ball. And I like to see that for players who really bust their ass and try hard. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people question Justin Fields coming in. A lot of Ohio State quarterbacks didn't work out. Fucking the guy that came to the Saints, he was not very good. There's another guy that came out. Huh?
My thing about Justin Fields for this game is that the Dolphins are stacked on defense. The Dolphins had a good defense this whole season.
I know, and that's the thing that sucks. And that I hate to pick the Dolphins 2 weeks in a row, but I mean, they have done nothing but make their team better and better. And I mean, you can't blame them. They're sick of losing, just like the Bills were sick of losing. But there's going to be a time and a place where that's not going to matter.
Let's look at the last games that the Dolphins have played after the game against the Vikings without Tua. Tua came back to a great situation here for Miami. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Lions. They're now going to take on the Bears. A team that's like low tier. Then they get the Browns.
Another fucking mid-tier team.
Then you get the Texans.
Oh my god, dude, the easiest schedule in the world. Fuck.
Then it finally turns up a little bit when you take on San Fran and the Chargers, and then it goes all the way up. Then it goes all the way up with the Chargers and Niners are better than the Bears, Browns, and Texans. I'll have to give them that. But
I don't agree with you at all. Actually, I think they're all mediocre teams. So no, I don't agree with that.
I think the Bears, Browns, and Texans are like the lowest of the low. Like they're in 30. They should be fighting for the first round draft pick. Whereas the Chargers, I think the Chargers are a little bit better than that. I think the Niners are actually a legit contender with McCaffrey. They showed it off last week. We have to see more of it though.
That's true. Let's see. Let's see.
But then the Dolphins take on the Bills in Buffalo. That's going to be a hell game for the Dolphins. And they get the Packers. The Patriots is going to be a tough game for the Dolphins, only for a fact it's a division rival. And it's in New England. And then you get the Jets week 18. So, I mean, this is an easy schedule for the Dolphins to make a wild card spot easily. They could win the division, but that's up to Buffalo right now. And I don't see Buffalo letting them win the division. Sorry, Dolphin fans.
They better not.
I got the Dolphins over the Bears. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Dolphins. I'm sorry, Justin Fields. This is just a game as hard as you're gonna try. And if you win, I'm gonna be so happy because I shouldn't have bet against myself because my insides are telling me to go with the Bears. But there's too much talent on the side of the Dolphins.
So the front seven for the Dolphins is dangerous. Bradley Chubb, Evan Ingram III. That Phillips is a really good player in the middle for the Dolphins. Then you also got Jerome Baker and Robertson, linebacker. After that, and Xavier Howard, I don't really like the DBs that much for the Dolphins, and that's where they've been getting killed really this season.
And that's where they'll spend their next draft pick on a DB.
Yep. But give me the Dolphins. Tua's really impressed me this season. He's actually played a lot better than I thought he would with Waddle and Hill.
Right.
Hate to say it, but it's true. He's just played really good this season. He might go down a cliff though, because the way he played against the Bengals was kind of concerning. But for right now, give me the Dolphins over the Bears. All right. Speaking of the Bengals, we got the Panthers taking on the Bengals next.
The Bengals need to get Jamar Chase back on the field.
He's out for 4 to 5 weeks.
They need him ASAP. So, how does it feel to go home as a football player and walk in to your house and your wife goes, "How was the game, honey?" "We lost to a backup quarterback in the Browns." I'm sorry. Like, I like the Browns. I think they could be better, but their quarterback situation is why the fuck? Like, okay, and we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Bengals. What happened? Like, did Jamar Chase bring that much to this team? They're just this shite?
They looked like the 2020 Bengals before they got Chase.
Like the 2016 Bengals. Terrible.
But look at who they're facing. Carolina.
Yeah, I know. And you know,
in some way in hell, the Bengals are ranked second in offense this year. Does that kind of surprises me. I didn't think their actual offense was that good, but yeah. What you thinking, Potter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that my bad. Okay. So, can we not talk about these teams anymore and just find out who traded to them? Because I don't want to pick either one. I hope
There
they
was
both lose. I
there
hope
was
it's a
no
tie.
trades. There was no
All
trades
right.
with these.
So these teams are gonna tie because they're both. Welcome to the shit bowl of the week, ladies and gentlemen. But if I had to take a team ranked second in offense, I'm gonna take the Bengals.
I gotta take the Bengals. The Panthers should not really be playing this season for actual wins. They should be playing the tank, and they've done so because they've tried to trade most of their players away, but then they kept Burns for some reason. I'm surprised they didn't get rid of Burns. I believe they wanted too much for him though. But they trade McCaffrey away. They just shown their true hand when they trade McCaffrey away. They want to just like tank for the rest of the season and get draft picks, which is not a bad thing for them. But they gotta produce they gotta produce losses now, and the Bengals would be a nice loss for them, and the Bengals can go on to win more games. Um, let's take a look at the Bengals schedule real quick. I'm just curious what they're facing for the next few weeks. They get the Panthers this week, the Steelers next week, and then they get the Titans and Chiefs. We'll talk about the Bengals more after the Steeler game because we gotta see how they do against Steelers. They tied in week one, or they lost in week one to the Steelers. So give me the Bengals over the Bengals over Panthers. Um, okay. Green Bay goes into Detroit, take on the Detroit Lions.
Well, I mean, it's not looking good for Detroit. They're ranked 32 on the PFT list, power rankings, and the quote there made me laugh. Said it's nice to have a quarterback that can win and take care of things, but if they could have a coach, or I'm sorry, if they had a coach that let me start again, and I quote: "It's nice to know that they have a coach that can win games, but a coach that could win more than once a month would be even better." That made me die laughing because literally you are back to being the jokes of the NFL. You started with the best best ranking offense. I was in shock, and I'm pretty sure Wolf was too, that you guys were playing so well, racking up 30 plus points a game. And then somewhere along the way, because it's not Goff. I'm telling you, it's not Goff. Goff is throwing the ball up, and it's Amon St. Ross St. Brown when he's healthy, and when that running back is healthy, DeAndre Swift, that's the team. Like that is the team. It's not Goff. It's not anybody else. Their defense is trash. But Amon Ross St. Brown and DeAndre Swift is that Lions team. They're the ones that are the playmakers on that team. Yeah, Jared Goff can throw the ball, hand the ball off. He's competent, but he's not the guy. And I strongly suggest that if the Lions want to have a winning season next year, they need to draft a quarterback or make a trade for a quarterback soon. Like the trade deadline's over, so you'll have to wait. But it's time. 2 years
So
of Goff is not good. It was not good year one, and it was not good year two. Yes, the production numbers are there for him to be a competent backup, in my opinion, but he is not a starter. No way. Sorry, he's done. Stick a fork in that man, and that's not even me saying that because I'd love to give Jared Goff another chance somewhere where a team that really needs him, like maybe the Colts or some shit like that. But what I'm saying is fucking holy shit. The Lions is not a good fit for you, bruh. Not unless Ross St. Brown or DeAndre Swift is healthy because you can't produce. And then on top of it, fucking in a really rare move, and I want to talk about this, in a super rare move, the Lions made a trade with the Vikings, a division rival, and traded away one of their best players in TJ Hawkinson. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know
One
why
of
they
their,
did it.
in my opinion, he was one of their better producers on offensive yards. He
What did
was
they
an
get for
open
it?
target. Shit, I don't know.
Picks, I know that for sure because there's no player that actually the Vikings
Hold on,
gave
I'll
him.
look it up. Hold on.
And here's the thing as well: if you want to trade Hawkinson, fine, go ahead and try to like produce for the future. Yeah, you don't trade him to the same to a division rival.
Hey, the Vikings traded former first-round tight end TJ Hawkinson from the Detroit Lions for a 2023 second-round pick and a 2024 third-round pick. Minnesota will also receive a 2023 fourth-round pick and a 2024 conditional fourth-round pick as a part of the deal.
Again, you don't trade your best player to a division rival.
I'm baffled by the move. I want to read a little bit more and see if they elaborate on.
I'm pretty sure they're doing this just because they want to like actually build for the future and they got big picks off of it from the Vikings. Yeah, they got picks, but they need to produce on those picks now. They actually draft talent that's actually going to help them in the future. And with Detroit the way that's looking right now, I don't really trust them drafting players. But here's the thing. We got this team, the Lions, who hasn't won since week 2, taking on a team that hasn't won since week 4.
Okay.
Both these teams are bad this season. The Packers and Lions. And somehow,
did you hear what I was saying
I heard what you were saying.
about Hawkinson?
Yes.
I said in 47 games, he got 2,068 yards and 15 touchdowns. So this year, he has 395 yards and 3 touchdowns on the year. And he was worth 9.4 million this year. So, I mean, I get it. You want to, make that room, that cap room, and I get it. But I don't think that was a smart move. He was one of their most productive players on offense. It just baffles my mind. Another, in my opinion, and I'm the one that smokes weed. I'm the one. And you would think that Sheila Lamb Ford isn't fucking puffing on sweet leaf here in Michigan because literally, baby, you made the wrong move. I get it. Draft picks, second round, fourth round, sweet. But you didn't even give the man 3 years. Like,
So,
is it just like you have another productive tight end? Oh, they have you know who they have at tight end? You know
who
who
they
they
have
have
it?
at tight end? Thomas
Mitchell?
Kennedy. No, his name is Thomas Kennedy. I'm so serious. I think his name is Tommy Kennedy, but it's kind of funny.
So on the Lions depth chart, it doesn't say anything about Thomas Kennedy. It says a James Mitchell and a Brock
He may
Wright.
be on practice squad because I know he was on the team at the preseason this year because I went.
But who are you taking this game, the Lions or the Packers?
With how shite the Packers have been playing, it's boomer bust for them. I think that the Lions could easily win this game if they get their shit together. And St. Brown and Swift are on the field.
Swift is questionable to play. Brown is definitely playing though.
Did Green Bay make any trades?
No.
Of course they didn't. I know they spoke with OBJ, with his agent, and yeah, he's not going to be ready to go till November. Do you even think Green Bay is going to be a contender by then?
No, not with the way they've been playing this season. I mean, their
And
whole receiving core right now is Watkins, Dobbs, and Lazard.
listen to me now as I tell you that it's already set in place and you people don't understand. I've been saying it since last year. Aaron Rodgers next year will be dressing in black and silver. He will be a Las Vegas Raider. He will rejoin his teammate and they'll be back on top throwing and catching the ball. I'm telling you. I'm here to tell everyone right now that that's going to be next year's big thing. Aaron Rodgers is going to demand a trade or he's going to demand his release and he's going to get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders, maybe for Derek Carr. Who knows? We could see an even swap, and I think that'd be a sweet move for both clubs, in my opinion. That's a fresh start for Derek Carr, and that's a fresh start for Aaron Rodgers, and he's back with his boy. And there were rumblings last year about Rodgers going to Las Vegas. Remember that?
Yes.
There were so many rumblings about him joining Las Vegas last year. Maybe it's this year. Maybe it's going to happen at the end of this year. It's obvious that Green Bay doesn't want to put anybody around Rodgers. They're not interested in making plays for someone for Rodgers. And how like as Aaron Rodgers, you got to be frustrated by that move. The end of trade deadline, and you don't get anybody for me. Not anybody. Are you fucking serious? Romeo Dobbs is starting to come out, but you know what I'm saying? Romeo Dobbs is all I have, and nobody knew him 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
If the Packers gets rid of Rodgers and they trade with the Raiders, let's just say hypothetically, I don't think they'd want Derek Carr because I think their whole main goal right now is to have Jordan Love start quarterback, and I think that's why they're not building around their Rodgers. I think they're actually purposely trying to get rid of him.
That's what I'm saying. And with the rumblings of last year, I've actually done this. I've actually done this trade in Madden a few times. So if you take Aaron Rodgers and a third rounder and package Carr and the first round pick of the next year's draft with a fourth conditional of the year that you're trading, okay, like say so next year it will be 2023, right?
Yep.
So they would get a 2023 fourth rounder and the 2025 first rounder for Aaron Rodgers and trade away Derek Carr and like a third rounder.
We'll just have to see. I don't know how they're gonna do. I don't know if Green Bay actually would do it. That's the thing.
Is Aaron Rodgers worth even a future year's first round draft pick?
That too.
Question. That's a question that I have right there because like here's the thing, like Aaron Rodgers I feel like is just he's still trying to play and he's still trying to be there, but he's pissed. Like you can see it in his face. He doesn't want to be there with no receivers, nobody to throw the ball to.
My thing is that he knew he was going into this Green Bay. He signed a big contract as well, and then they got rid of Dion Adams. You tell me he didn't know that they were going that Adams was going somewhere else and that you're going to trade Adams before he signed that contract?
What's up? I'm sorry.
He signed a big long-term contract this offseason for the Packers, and then they automatically, after they signed him, they traded Adams away. You're telling me that he signed that contract and he had no idea they were going to trade Adams away?
That's what I'm saying. It's been set up since the beginning.
This is such a bad game to pick out because both teams could lose this game the way the Lions have been playing and the way the Packers have been playing. I guess I trust the Packers more in this situation. I'll take Green Bay over Detroit, but it could go either way. Who are you taking?
I honestly, I don't know who to take. It's a hard choice because both teams kind of suck. On you know what I mean? Like not to diss them or nothing, but like, come on, guy, like both your
And
teams kind of
here's the
suck.
thing: after this game for the Packers, next 3 games they get the Dallas Cowboys. That's a loss right there, probably. Then the Tennessee Titans. I think that's a loss as well. And Tennessee has been playing the best. I'll give them that, but like I think they can still beat Green Bay. And then they take on the Eagles.
Talking to you. I get sorry, I got candy in my mouth. I just I think Green Bay needs to tank.
I don't think they're gonna tank at all. I think they're gonna win this game and they're gonna lose the next 3.
Could be.
So I'm taking the Packers.
Lions are just too flawed.
All right, up next we go to New England as the New England Patriots takes on the Indianapolis Colts.
So the Colts just got Zach Moss. I want to see how he plays for them.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
Zach Moss, not a stranger to the Patriots at all, having to play them 2 times a year.
And the Colts are not going to be without Jonathan Taylor. He's actually questionable to play with a leg injury, so it might be just Zach Moss and Sam Ehlinger versus the Patriots.
That would be cool. So I saw a funny joke online. Did you see it?
I don't know what joke.
It was Philip River or Matt Ryan lasted exactly whatever, and it ended up being 31 to 3 or whatever.
28-3 probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
28 to 3.
I seen that.
Poor Matt Ryan, he can't escape that number.
And let me just say this: we know the Colts lost last week to Commanders in a close game, but Sam Ehlinger had an actual decent day at quarterback. I mean, he had 201 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions either. He went 17 for 23, and he also had a 100 QB rating. So, not bad debut to start with his season.
Not at all.
Is it gonna last against the Patriots defense though? Because we know how Belichick schemes.
No. Unless for some reason Sam Ellinger has fucking weird Peyton Manning powers and just turns it on against the Patriots. But
Man, this rivalry between the Colts and Patriots used to be so good back then. It used to be Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, and now we're stuck with Sam Ehlinger versus Mac Jones.
I'm gonna take you know what? I'm gonna take New England in this game, and I don't want to talk anymore about this because screw them. You know what game is next? My favorite game of the week.
All right, I'm gonna take New England. I just think the defense is just better, just in general. Defense is gonna win this game, and New England has better defense than the Colts, in my opinion. So that's why I'm taking the Patriots over the Colts. All right, Bills at Jets. You can start it.
Division rivalry game this week. Honestly, the Jets have been playing good, and you know what? That makes me feel even better about the way the Bills are going to destroy this Jets team. What do you think, Wolf?
You know what? I'm gonna grab something real quick.
I don't know.
I'll be right back. You keep talking.
Okay, well, he's gone. I'm going to talk about this Bills game. I'm super excited. The Bills coming off a huge win on Sunday night. And you know what? Like, I've seen a little bit of, there always are mistakes made in a football game. But when you play as a high caliber team like Buffalo. Like, elaboration of this is a little tough. Um, the high energy that you have to play, I feel that's what kept them going, and they had a really good Sunday night game.
All right, you ready to hear my actual thing I grabbed for this?
Yeah.
This is a belt. Jets, what we're gonna do to you on Sunday is we're gonna beat you across the fucking floor, okay? It's not even gonna be a contest. This is gonna be the Bills smacking you across the face with a freaking leather belt. That's all I gotta say about this game.
Buffalo, we all know, made trades. Buffalo ended up sending a 7th-round pick to the Falcons for their safety. What's his name again, Wolf?
Dean Marlowe.
Okay. And we traded, as we talked about, Zach Moss and a 4th-round pick to the Colts for Nyheim Hines. So we can go ahead and move on to the next game.
Real quickly, what do you think about Hines?
I don't know much about him. I hear he's really good.
So, okay, here's the thing of Hines. He's not a running back in the sense of a running back. He's a receiving back.
That's what I hear. And then I hear that's going to bolster us, which I'm cool with that.
So it's going to be Singletary and Cook probably running the ball a lot, and then you're going to have Hines in for passing plays probably. And Hines can play slot receiver too. So if you really want to like go crazy with it, you can do a lot of stuff scheming wise. Real quickly, since I got messaged about this like maybe 2 weeks ago from a Jet fan, Andrew, he said that the Jets were going to hold the Bills to only 14 points, and then he changed it to 21 points. Andrew, I just want to tell you in the video, my friend, I'm sorry when we score 40 against you.
Right.
The over-under for this game is 47. They're going to go over because Buffalo's going to score 40 on the Jets.
Yo. Hell yeah. Buffalo's going to score so much. I'm sorry.
I'm not even gonna like be mad at the Jets. Their defense has been really great this season, but I don't think any defense can stop the Bills' offense.
Sorry, I totally interrupted my wife. She's trying to catch up. I've been watching Young Rock, and she's catching up. I'm sorry. I walked in there, and she was totally like watching one of my favorite parts of the show.
Anyways, give me the Bills over the Jets. It's not even gonna be a contest. This is just
J-E-T-S, suck my cock. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills because nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
And the sad part is that I think the Jets, if they didn't lose their running back for the whole season with a torn ACL, they'd have a better shot at beating Buffalo. They'd be maybe, instead of being 12.5 favorites, Buffalo would probably be 10-point favorites.
I agree with that.
All right, up next we go to Washington as we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Commanders. And I got breaking news, Potter. So the Washington police is looking into allegations of Washington themselves, the Commanders. Why? Did you hear about this?
No.
Let me, I seen it just on Twitter a minute ago. A big news sites were actually reporting this. Let me get it up actually real quickly. I can find it. Also, Dan Snyder also hired Bank of America to sell the Washington Commanders as well.
Wait, what?
So the Commanders have announced that Tanya and Dan Snyder have hired Bank of America Securities to explore the sale of their franchise.
Oh, wow.
And then there's also stuff coming out that the Washington police is actually looking into something about the Commanders in general. I'm looking for that tweet right now.
I wonder what that is.
I can find the tweet. But it looks like they're actually going to be forced to sell a team, and then something's coming up on the police end. Talk about the game, though. What do you think about the Vikings and Commanders.
I like the move that the Vikings made to pick up T.J. Hawkinson. I think it's going to help in the passing game. I think he's going to complement Justin Jefferson very nicely.
Okay, I found the tweet.
Huh?
I found the tweet.
Nice.
The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia has opened a criminal investigation into allegations that the Commanders engaged in financial improprieties, sources confirmed to ESPN.
I wonder who's evading taxes.
Dan Snyder, probably.
Probably.
That's probably why he's selling the team.
That sucks.
I don't think Dan Snyder's actually been a good a good owner for the past 2 years, though. He's been a shitty owner, especially the way the Commanders field has been as of late, injuring players, and they're not even doing anything to try and fix it.
Right.
The Vikings this season have been actually on a good upward trajectory. They've been winning games lately. I believe they're on a 5-game winning streak. They just beat the Arizona Cardinals last week. The Vikings made a trade with the who did the Vikings trade with?
The Lions.
They traded with the Lions. They got TJ Hawkinson as a tight end now on their team to add to Jefferson, Thielen, and Dalvin Cook on that offense for the Vikings. I think they are obviously the best team in the NFC right now, and they could be the best if you consider the Eagles as being fraudulent. I think the Eagles are a legit team, but they're not as good as people think they are. But I don't know if the Vikings actually can out-top them.
I think they can.
As for the Commanders, I mean, you have a lot to say about Tyler Heinicke. You like Heinicke.
I do, actually. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he can manage the game well. I think he's a lot better of an option than fucking Carson's stupid-ass Wentz.
Speaking of the Commanders, they're actually on a 3-game winning streak as well. They beat Chicago, Green Bay, and Indy 3 weeks in a row. So basically a winning streak is going to end tonight with the Washington Commanders and the Minnesota Vikings. Which one are you taking, Potter?
I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings.
I think we gotta both take the Minnesota Vikings here. The Commanders have a lot of stuff going on now with personal problems, as you can see by Dan Snyder hiring a thing to probably, sell the team. It might actually affect them playing wise. And plus, I don't think the Washington Commanders are really a good team in general. I mean, they beat the Bears, the Packers, and the Colts, and the Packers have been had the game won, and they basically gave it up to the Commanders. But all those three teams I just mentioned are not that good of a team. Kirk Cousins plays good on what time does this game play? 1 o'clock? Yeah, Kirk Cousins plays good on 1 o'clock games. Give me the Vikings.
Right.
All right, up next we go to Jacksonville as the Las Vegas Raiders takes on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So, I like the Jags made a trade, and you said you wanted to talk about that. I'm going to let you open with that.
Well, about Calvin Ridley. Now, here's the thing. He's suspended for the whole season, so it's not going to make that much difference this season. My question is, do you really go for a trade like that to go after a player like Calvin Ridley that's going to affect you next season?
I don't understand. Here's my question about it. With you having the bolsterous receiving core that you have, why go for a suspended receiver unless they've already made a decision to move on from somebody from the receiving core at the beginning of next season? I'm just saying, I know that it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be Zay Jones, because Zay Jones has been very productive for the Jaguars. Has been decently productive anyways.
I'm looking up his stats this season. 49 targets, 34 receptions, 309 yards receiving, and a touchdown. It could be any of these receivers, though.
He has 50 less yards than Chase Claypool.
Yeah. He hasn't been having a bad season by any means. It's just you have Christian Kirk on the team too, and you also have Marvin Jones Jr.
Right, but who Like, and out of the three of those, you think that Zay Jones is the odd man out if Calvin Ridley's coming to the team, right?
Yeah, you would think so. Maybe Christian Kirk if you want to take him out of the
Who
slot and put.
produces the most out of the three?
I think it's Christian Kirk because Calvin Ridley's a slot receiver, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you'd be getting rid of the slot receiver, and Christian Kirk's in the slot right now, so you'd be getting rid of Christian Kirk and having Jones and Jones Jr. on the sides. I just realized Marvin Jones Jr. and you also have Zay Jones. You have Jones and Jones connections here.
Right.
um,
Jaguars. That's what I'm taking. I don't trust that Las Vegas defense.
You don't trust that Las Vegas defense? What about the Las Vegas offense, though, against this defense?
Against Jacksonville's defense?
Yes. Derek Carr had a bad game last week against the Saints, and I mean a very bad game. They didn't score anything at all.
Nothing at all.
And they couldn't get the ball to their best player, which I've been saying as, like, you have to get the ball to your best player. Like, he had one reception for 3 yards and he targeted him 5 times. But I mean, Jacksonville's kind of a team that is like in the upper echelons of bad teams. The Raiders could pull out a win here against the Jacksonville Jaguars, in my opinion, especially with the talent they have around them. The problem in Las Vegas right now is not the team that they have themselves, it's the head coach.
Agreed.
Josh McDaniel, I think, is it McDaniels or McCown or whatever his name is? He used to be the coordinator for New England. He's a great offensive coordinator when he's with Belichick, but when he's by himself as a head coach, he doesn't know what he's doing, and it shows. This team should be miles ahead with what they have on their roster. Like, I mean, this is not a bad roster. I mean, I say Jones, I'm looking at Jacksonville. My bad. Adams, Renfro, Carr, Josh Jacobs, even.
Did you just see the injury report that came out? He's sick, so he might not play. Adams might not play.
I see Adams might not play, but he is questionable to play, so I'm taking it as him playing.
Derek Carr has back problems. You know, that's been ongoing.
Darren Waller has the leg injury as well. That's questionable to play as well.
So, I mean, I'm taking the healthier team here.
All right, so you're taking the Jaguars. I'll go with the Raiders. We haven't really gone against each other yet, really that much. So this will be a different change, you know.
Yeah.
So I might as well take the Raiders. Is there anything else you want to say about that game before we move on?
Nah.
Some of these games are hard to pick from, man, because some of these games are just bad in general. But a game that's not going to be bad, in my opinion, the Seattle Seahawks going into Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals.
How did Kyler Murray play the weekend of Call of Duty release?
Do you want me to say his stats?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let me find the game here. Here we go. 34. They lost the game 34-26. Kyler Murray had 44 passes, 31 completions. He had 326 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
I mean, that's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but I think the interceptions came late in the game, and that's why they cost the game. That's why he cost them the game against the Vikings in the end. He also had 6 carries for 36 yards, no fumbles lost apparently as well.
So I mean,
they still lost the game though, so that's all that matters with that stat line.
What about Seattle?
Seattle came off a big win. They just beat the Giants 27-13.
They did.
Geno Smith, man.
Russell Wilson. Russell Smith.
Man.
Geno Wilson and Russell Smith. That's exactly how it looks, man. Those two have swapped bodies like it's a Freaky Friday, brother.
It's so crazy, man, how Smith has been playing this season.
Makes you think that he was the guy all along with just patience.
He's been just phenomenal this season. He's gonna win comeback player of the year this year probably if he keeps it up.
Could be.
With that in mind, who do you take in this game? Do you take the Seahawks or do you take the Cardinals?
I'd take the Seahawks.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, I know Jamal Adams is out for is injured on IR with a leg injury, and like there might be a little bit of injuries here on the Seahawks side. But I don't trust really the Cardinals right now. And plus, the Seahawks are on a 3-game winning streak. The Cardinals just lost their game against the Vikings. I mean, I've been disappointed with the Cardinals this season. They haven't really done that much. However, I will say this: Hopkins being back has been such a great addition for the Cardinals. They've been getting some stuff done with Hopkins being out there. But besides that, I mean, I think at this point for the Cardinals, it's not even Kyler Murray's fault. I'm blaming it more so solely on the actual coaching staff and the schemes that come into this game.
I agree.
Like, you can't... They just don't... I don't think Cliff Berry's actually a good head coach. And I think he's leaning towards getting fired sooner or later, coming either this season or next season. I think if he stays alive for after this season, next season might be his make or break year. If he doesn't make, he's going to be gone. And I also will say this. A lot of people are saying Pete Carroll should have been fired, I believe, last season for what they did. This is giving this turnaround for the Seahawks this season is showing exactly why the Seahawks should keep Pete Carroll as the head coach of the Seahawks.
I agree. 100%. You can't just let that go.
And the Seahawks were going like very downhill when they had Russell Wilson out there for the last few seasons. This is actually a good start up for the Seahawks. So yeah, give me Seattle. Well, don't be surprised if Seattle wins the division either.
I won't be.
I mean, you got the Niners, Arizona, Rams, and Seahawks. I mean, the Niners might be a contest with them, but besides that, I don't, So yeah, real quickly, any trades here that happened? Quick glance, I don't see any. So we'll move on. You're taking the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, I took the Seahawks.
Okay, up next, we got the Los Angeles Rams going into Tampa Bay, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, I don't like either one of these teams either. They've both been playing not good football. Tom Brady's concerned about it and wrapped up in a divorce case. Matt Stafford doesn't look like Matt Stafford from last year. No, this team does not look like the team from last year in Los Angeles. But I'm gonna take the Rams because I don't like the Bucks. Sorry.
Cooper Kupp is questionable playing this game, by the way.
I don't care.
And the Rams are somehow favored in the spread, but I can understand why the Bucks are favored in the spread. I'm sorry, but I can understand why how the Rams have been playing this season. But the Bucks just does not look like the same Bucks team that we were usually used to. I mean, Tom Brady does not look the same either. I mean, even though we're saying this about Tom Brady, he still has some great stat line, I believe. If I can find the actual stats real quick here for Tom Brady this season. 9 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. I believe he's second in the league in passing yards as well. He's also the first in the league in passing attempts as well. But really, none of the stats really matter if you're not winning games. And he's on a 3-game losing streak, and this is the first time he's on a team that's actually has a losing record, I believe, since 2002, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So this is something new for Tom Brady. He has to actually get back on track and everything like that. And against the Rams team in Tampa Bay, 4:25 kickoff time, and light rain supposed to be happening in Tampa Bay. This is such a tough game because both teams are playing like absolute shit.
Yo, I'm gonna take the Rams though. I don't like Tom Brady.
I just want to look at Matthew Stafford's stats this season before I actually take a pick here. Are you surprised neither team made a trade before the deadline?
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, neither one of these teams want to lose anything they got. I hear the Rams are trying to bring back OBJ.
They think they're gonna get him back, but 14th in passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions for Stafford this season. I'm kind of leaning towards the Bucs, but at the same time, it's like if the Bucs defense doesn't show up, Stafford has a good week. That could happen too. We haven't been going against each other a lot in picks. I'll take the Buccaneers over the Rams as well. I'll have to go different against you with that game. I'm gonna bank on the fact that Cooper Kupp is injured and he might not play this game, so that's a question mark right there alone. Mike Evans is questionable play as well. I know that for sure, and I know Jones is also questionable play as well for the Bucs, but you still got like Chris Godwin there and stuff like that, and plus the Rams defense hasn't been really showing up this season, so give me the Bucs over the Rams. All right, Sunday Night Football. Potter, we're going to Kansas City. You ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Tennessee Titans at the Kansas City Chiefs.
I have 2 words for you, Wolf, and get used to hearing this name. Kadarius Toney. All the analysts are saying this man is going to be the poor man's Tyreek Hill. I mean, no one can be Tyreek Hill, but at that point, like, he has that speed that the Chiefs have been lacking this season, in my opinion, and in everyone else's opinion as well. I don't think that he'll make an impact this game, but I think for the rest of the season, that's going to be the guy that you hear about a lot, just like it was with Tyreek Hill before him.
Yeah.
And Kansas City's such a high-powered offense. I don't even care about the Tennessee Titans. I'm just going to take the Chiefs.
Now, this is a Sunday Night Football game, and like it'd be actually very interesting if Tennessee can beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
It would be interesting. It really would be.
Now, I'm gonna counter argue with your analyst that you said about with Toney. The problem with Toney, and this is why the Giants got rid of him, is because of he's injury prone. He's been injured last season. He was injured, I believe, his rookie season as well. He has an injury, I believe, in his leg or something like that, I believe. I can't remember correctly. But, like, that's going to limit him on his actual, like, touches and whatnot. And plus, there's so many receivers here in Kansas City. It's like you already have Juju, you have Hardman, you have Scantling. Is he even going to be able to make the field?
Yep. I'll tell you he is. I promise you he will.
He will. He'll get a shot.
That injury thing it might not be a problem here. We'll see. But if fantasy players, take a gamble. If you have a receiver that you want to get rid of, pick this man up because he's going to get you points.
And your receiver that has Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback is going to, get points in fantasy, really.
I mean, my quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, so.
So, of course. Give me the Chiefs over the freaking Titans. I don't think this is much of a contest. You have to, here's the thing, with Tennessee, to beat Kansas City, you have to have a team that can score every possession. Kansas City has a team that can run the ball, yes, but Ryan Tannehill's not going to, outscore and outpace Mahomes. They're not Buffalo. So give me Kansas City over Tennessee. Tennessee might try to run the clock out and run the ball a lot, but it's not going to matter when Mahomes scores 28 points in the first fucking quarter and the Titans are over there with 14 points, still trying to give the ball to Henry when it's basically over at that point. And I just told you guys how to beat the Titans now, guys, as well. Yeah, give me Kansas City over Titans.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Malik Willis actually playing quarterback, or is it actually going to be Tannehill?
I don't know.
They're saying it's going to be Tannehill, but I know Tannehill was injured last week with a questionable injury, and he's actually listed as questionable right now on the injury report as well with a leg injury. So that's going to be very interesting. If Malik Willis plays, I kind of want to see how Malik Willis does against the Kansas City Chiefs. I know I seen him last week against the Texans, and I wasn't that impressed. But the man only threw 10 passes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he had one interception in that game, but he went 6 for 10, 55 yards, and an interception. Nothing really to see or nothing really to show really in that game. They didn't give him a chance to really throw the ball at all, which rightfully so because Derrick Henry had 219 yards rushing on the ground. So I understand it, but at the same time, still that's a small serving size of Malik Willis.
Right.
But give me Kansas City. That's an easy pick for both of us.
Oh yeah, it is.
Last but not least, we got the Baltimore Ravens going into New Orleans, take on the New Orleans Saints. Monday Night Football.
That's easy too. You got to take Baltimore in this game. New Orleans has been playing not very good.
I will say this: the New Orleans Saints did win against last week against the Raiders, 24-0. They've actually shut out the Raiders, and maybe that's signs to come that they're actually figuring stuff out, or the Raiders is bad. Take that as you will. And the Ravens have a problem of giving up leads early in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter.
That's true.
So that's the only scary thing about this game is that if the Saints keep it close and the Ravens can't like finish them fully, and then the fourth quarter rolls around, then somehow Lamar Jackson can't throw the passes, Lamar Jackson's not making the first downs, and all of a sudden Andy Dalton's doing something a miracle and making the Saints actually helping the Saints win the game.
Oh yeah, that's right. They switched from Jameis to Andy Dalton, and they've actually been playing okay.
Yeah, they've been playing decent. They've been getting some stuff going here. I mean, they scored 34 against the loss to the Cardinals.
Wasn't there a trade with Baltimore?
Yes, the Baltimore Ravens traded I believe Roquan Smith Roquan Smith to the Dolphins. Or
AJ Klein?
No, it wasn't Dolphins. Where's the trade? Oh, the Bears traded the Ravens Roquan Smith, so the Ravens have Roquan Smith and the middle linebacker and a linebacker spot.
Yeah, that was it.
And Smith is going to play the right outside linebacker spot, and probably Queen's going to play the left outside spot, is what they're saying on PFF.
That's a good move for the Ravens, and that's all the more reason why I'm going to pick them to win.
Is Smith the answer to shut down teams though and finally finish off teams when they have the leads?
I mean, that pass rush is still that pass rush.
Yeah, you just add one pass rusher though to the mix. I mean, they didn't really have a pass rush that much. Their defense has been lackluster. They're actually ranked 29th in the league in defense, and they're ranked 20th in the league in offense, but they're still ranked 7th in overall somehow on PFF. Man, this is a tough game for me because, like, I don't know if I trust the Ravens actually getting the job done, but at the same time, I don't trust the Saints to actually get the job done either. Give me the Ravens, I guess. I mean, the Ravens are a better team on paper, but the way they've been playing this season has been kind of, like, head scratcher, really. Like, you don't really know if they're going to show up and actually do what they have to do, or if they show up and they finally just give up the game in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden you're just wondering why they're losing this game. Like it happened against Buffalo. We've seen it like recently with Buffalo. We've seen it with the Giants. I believe the Dolphins as well. They were up like 3 scores and the Dolphins scored 3 times to win that game 42-38. It's very questionable right now in Baltimore. And if they can get the win against the Saints and go 6-3, it can help their season around, especially since they're going on bye week on week 10. But they have to win first. That's the only thing. But yeah, I'll take the Ravens as well. Lamar Jackson should be a better quarterback than Andy Dalton, but don't be surprised if Dalton shows up and somehow, in some way, the Saints like shocks everybody and wins this game. And that does it for our Week 9 picks. How you feeling, Potter?
I feel good about all my picks.
That's good to see. And anything else you want to say before we actually wrap things up here? Go Bills. So yeah, guys, I'll see you for my short video, probably coming around Saturday. Hopefully everyone gets their picks in time. I believe we also have AWW streaming on Friday. You guys can show up on the stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/theavatarwolf. Also, I believe I stream on Thursday as well. Probably gonna play some Omega Strikers with Linty and whoever wants to join in as well. I'm trying to get a 3v3 on Omega Strikers, but we'll see if that actually happens. Also, the new YouTube series that came out, The Man Chronicles. Go check that out if you have not already. The prelude's already out. Episode 1 will be probably out sooner or later. Don't know when. I'm just waiting to see how it goes. Yeah, guys.
Question about that. Is that like a through the years thing, or is that like just this year's highlights?
So the Man Chronicles is not actually anything that's related to the Man series. It's a whole. Huh?
Guess I'll have to go check out that video, huh?
Yeah, it's something new, completely different. There's 3 characters basically involved. You got Johnny Starbrook, Preston Reinhardt, and you got Shaw Layton, and you're basically going through the careers of them as they go. Basically, is what's the whole premise.
Well, see you guys next week.
Yep, see you guys next week. We'll have some more predictions next week, week 10. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm out. Peace.